Hey everyone, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to our new subscribers. Happy Sunday to you. Happy August as well. Hard to believe we're rolling into another new month as we roll through 2026. It's a new day, more of the same, right? Hopefully you're all doing well. It's a beautiful day at the moment. We've had multiple rain showers today and yesterday and the day before, and at the moment the sun's out and the trees and grass are actually really green compared to this time in past years where it's brown and dusty. But we've had so much rain here, the lake is topped off, maxed out at the moment. So all's good. Got groundhogs running around everywhere. Can't get rid of them. And we recently have two spottings of a neighborhood bobcat. And we got turkeys. And we got bears. And, small town life here in East Tennessee. It's good. Had an abundance of pears and blackberries and blueberries this year. The deer finally figured out there's apples on both of the apple trees, so they're hanging out. It's crazy. Broad daylight. We got deer running around everywhere. Every time you go outside in broad daylight or at night, there's anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 deer standing underneath the fruit trees and the babies, and so it's actually quite nice. I know to a lot of people they're a nuisance, but it's quite nice to see all of God's work before your eyes. So have you looked around lately? Do you see more the craziness around the world increasing? What's going on in France and Spain? Yeah, it's continues to be nuts with all the water issues that are going on in 9 states now here in the U.S. We got earthquakes that are taking place um, around the world. So for those of you who don't prepare, is the thought at least going on in your head as to some steps you should be taking to build your personal insurance policy of self-reliance to take care of your family? You know, sometimes I ask myself why I'm concerned about people at this point who aren't prepared, and it's mostly for their own well-being. That's pretty much it. Those of us, and there's thousands and thousands of us who have been trying for years to convince people that things are not as normal, and they might want to start considering building a self-preparedness package with all the natural disasters and man-made events that are occurring. We have an ongoing war. Most people are looking at it kind of halfway or blindsided, but they're not considering that the clock's ticking, and every day that we're involved there, it's another day closer to economic disaster here in America. But no one really talks about the 40 day clock ticking, and it's not going to end. It's going to expand. You're going to have more and more countries who are going to be impacted, getting involved, and you're probably going to see maybe even a possible breakout of another war here in uh, the North American continent, uh, south of the border, actually. Brazil and Argentina is a possibility. There's already some skirmishy type events that are occurring there, and then will Panama get drug into it? And as Michael Young likes to talk about, its routes and resources. And just look at the Strait of Hormuz and look at it's a route that's closed down, and look at all of the resources that come through that route that's impacting the rest of the world, specifically oil and fertilizers. Okay, so one by one, as these routes are blocked or closed down, it's a greater impact on the world. There's discussions amongst some of the financiers who are honest and truthful, that are saying that the first country that's going to fall financially is going to be Japan. So, how much debt is it that Japan holds in U.S. treasuries? It's quite a bit, right? So, I often talk about how if it's global or national, if it's not impacting your 5 mile radius, it's okay to know about it, but you need to focus on things that are going to impact your 5 mile radius. Well, these wars are happening in other places outside the United States, but they could impact your 5 mile radius because of the resources, and the unavailability of these resources, um, unavailability of fuel to move trucks, and when the 18-wheelers stop moving into warehouses in your general area, you've got problems, especially if you have not prepared at all. You basically have 9 meals till starvation. Okay, Ronald Reagan said it best. So, yeah, I don't like to come here on a Sunday and paint a bleak picture, and honestly, I'm not trying to put fear in anyone. I'm trying to give you information to allow you to stay steps ahead. Okay, in preparedness, um, 90% of the battle is information. Okay, it's knowing ahead of time. It's knowing in advance so you can go do your last things. Remember during the Big C, the people fighting over toilet paper. Well, if you've already been and got yours, you don't have to go amongst the crazies to get drawn into it. Okay. And when they have shortages, they often blame it on people who prepare, but the reality is those who prepare, they already have these resources. We don't need to go out to get them. Okay. So I recently came across a really good question. It was a discussion on vetting and vetting family and neighbors around you. All right, and the impact it could have on your preparedness community. I have a video on here several months back on vetting and the 3 steps: the pre vetting, the vetting, and the post vetting steps that you should consider to take. Okay. If you likely are not bugging out and you're bugging in and staying where you're at, um, vetting is a much harder process than at the time of an event. It's a much harder process than if you're bugging out when you're building a community from scratch, because you want to vet every single person that's coming into that community. The big difference and kind of A lot of people read a lot of post-apoc books, all right, and they hear the stories of how in their storyline that people got vetted and everyone was trusted and so forth. That's a story, okay? The reality is, if you're not bugging out and you're staying put in your community, you're going to have who lives around you. Like them, don't like them, liberal, conservative, Christian, non Christian, lazy, hard worker. They're your neighbors and they're still going to be there. All right. The big thing there is that so many people do not take the time to spend time with all of these people to gauge and make a determination of what categories they fall in. All right. How am I going to work with a person who has totally different beliefs than what I have? Okay. How can we come to the 50-yard line and agree to disagree but still work together? Okay. How do you even know what these people think and what their beliefs are? Have you spent any time with them? Do you maybe do neighborhood, go out and get exercise and do walks? And if they're out, stop and say hey to them and just talk to them in general. Maybe have hot dog and hamburger cookouts and invite people over and spend time together. Maybe have a community garden. Okay. If you see them out working in their yard and laboring, maybe go over and volunteer to help them. All right. The key is getting before them and talking to them and learning who they are and what they believe and so forth. Because if someone breaks into your home at 3 o'clock in the morning and you need help, and the closest person to you is the neighbor who has totally different beliefs than you are, if you're down and need help, are you going to ignore calling them to come help you? That's where you need to spend time building these relationships beforehand, knowing who you can trust and who you can depend on. All right. And so many people, just because someone has different beliefs, they write them off. Okay. And sometimes maybe you do need to write people off, but they're still your neighbor. All right. Who can you work with and who can you not trust and won't be able to work with? Who do you know is not prepared, semi prepared? Who maybe has home protection, who doesn't have home protection? These are all things you need to be figuring out now beforehand. Okay. Uh, Sitting back and looking out the window and thinking about it and doing nothing about it is going to bite you in the butt. All right. And, um, you walk down the street, you say hey, and they don't speak to you, and you walk back up the street and you speak and they don't say hey to you. Guess what? Their nonverbal actions is a lesson learned for you, and it's something that you need to annotate down on a piece of paper of who in your community you can depend and trust. Okay, who you can depend upon. Um, what I'm explaining to you are steps that are it's a different kind of vetting than the vetting, the pre-vetting, vetting, and post-vetting steps that you would do if you're building a community from scratch that may be a bug out location. Now, if you live on say a 25, 50, 100 acre farm and you're wanting to find people who will come to you to give them a place of refuge to help you that is maybe in a rural area, that is not bugging out, and those are people that you want to vet very well. Okay. But the big difference is those are people coming into you versus neighbors who are already established, who are around you, and they're people that you're going to have to deal with and work with. Okay, and hopefully this makes sense to you. Um, family is family. You know, you may have good family. You may have family that you don't trust. Family who owe you money. Family who's lazy. Family who's a totally different political views. On and on and on. You're going to have to deal with that one by one. Because if they know all along that you prepare and put food back, they know where you live, right? The odds are they're going to show up at your house. Unless you have a community security team, and when things go to WROL without rule of law, and you have security checkpoints to where people can't get into your community, then that's different. But most people aren't going to have that. They're not going to be that lucky to have already established these steps today. Okay? Too many people spend time scratching their head and wondering what they're going to do versus opening the door and going out and meeting people who may or may not be able to help them um, during an event. Okay? The success of this and you surviving through it is going to be because of the work that you're doing now and the community that you build around you. All right, and uh, this this might be one of the most difficult tasks that you have to do outside of the medicinal package and setting up your communications. Okay, this is evergreen. It's ongoing. It can change anytime, all the time. Neighbors come in, neighbors move. You may have a neighbor in your community who you've checked off as being someone who's dependable. And then on day three, they have people that show up at their house who are basically a snicker in the punch bowl. All right. They're lazy. They didn't bring any skills with them. They didn't bring any food with them. And your neighbor wants to get rid of them, and they don't know how, and they come to you. So what are you going to do? Okay. People may we may have another event that's like the March 2020 through 24, the big C, where people start showing up uh, at other people's homes and they're sick. Well, if it's part of your community, what are you going to do to protect your community? Especially if it's WROL and you've got security positions and all the community preparedness positions um, working and keeping your community running, and you have sick people show up who are related to someone in your community. What is your plan? All right, how are you going to quarantine? Have you even talked about putting up a quarantine? How you're going to treat them? So, um, like I said, this is maybe one of the hardest, if not the hardest, parts of building your community and working through day to day possibilities. This is a good topic to sit around the table and ask what ifs about, troubleshoot. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you, and keep your eyes on the prize. That's being prepared and getting through it and keeping your faith strong. Um, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer again, but there's if you watched any of the trial that took place this past week and regarding a certain Dr. F, and you witnessed what a gaggle it was. That nothing's going to happen. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all talk. All right. Think over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, all of the politicians who probably should be locked up for crimes committed against our country and against our people from both sides, who are still free and very wealthy. So do this for yourself and your family and your community. Get prepared, be ready, keep your head on a swivel, and always think outside the box. All right, it's a new game. Every day is a new day. Be hopeful. Don't live in fear. Uh, if you don't know, if you're not prepared and you don't know how, you need to ask someone. Okay, it's not hard. It's one foot in front of the other. It's just time consuming. All right. Okay. So if you like this video, please hit like, share with other people. Try to get their heads in the game. Get them on the right page. Leave a comment down below if you have any comments, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. We appreciate it. So have a great week, be blessed, and remember, no matter how it appears, you still live in the greatest country on this earth. Bravo Echo out.